Hello. My name is Priya, and I am from a small village in India. I want to share my story about learning English and how it changed my life. I had always admired people who could speak English fluently. Growing up in India, I knew that learning English would open doors for me, especially if I wanted to study or work in bigger cities like Mumbai or Bengaluru. My journey began one afternoon when I was on a bus to my hometown, and a woman sitting next to me started a conversation in English. Although I understood some of her words, I couldn't reply confidently. That day, I made a promise to myself to learn English no matter how hard it seemed. Lesson 1. Taking the first step. A few weeks later, I enrolled in an English class at a local community center in Chennai. Our teacher, Ms. Aruna, was kind and patient. On the first day, she asked us why we wanted to learn English. Many students, like me, wanted to improve their skills for better job opportunities. Ms. Aruna told us that learning English wasn't just about understanding words but about communicating and expressing ourselves freely. She said, "Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Speak as much as you can." We began speaking from day one, and although I fumbled with words, I felt excited. I met students from all over India, and together, we helped each other grow. Lesson 2. Finding the right method. During my journey, I realized that learning English wasn't just about attending classes, it was about finding what worked for me. I started watching Bollywood films with English subtitles. My favorite actor, Shah Rukh Khan, would speak so expressively in his dialogues, and seeing the English translation helped me understand better. I also began listening to English news channels like BBC, which slowly improved my understanding. Ms. Aruna suggested that reading was one of the most effective ways to learn. Read for at least 20 minutes every day, she advised. I picked up simple storybooks and newspapers. My vocabulary grew, and I felt more comfortable with the language. Lesson 3. Speaking up. As I got better at English, I knew the next step was to speak more confidently. One day, my aunt from Delhi called, and we had a full conversation in English. Although I paused here and there, I managed to express my thoughts. It was a small victory, but it meant the world to me. In class, we practiced shadowing, a technique where you listen to a speaker and repeat what they say. I used English speeches and repeated them until my pronunciation improved. Slowly, my accent became more neutral, and I started feeling more comfortable conversing in English. Lesson 4. Embracing mistakes. There were times when I made mistakes. At a family wedding, I tried to speak English with some relatives, and I used the wrong words. I felt embarrassed, but my teacher's advice stayed with me. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Every mistake is a step toward fluency. So, I kept trying. My friends and family encouraged me, and I found that most people were supportive of my efforts. Lesson 5. Balancing English with my culture. One of the challenges I faced was balancing English with my native language, Hindi. I didn't want to lose touch with my cultural identity. I realized that learning English didn't mean giving up my roots, it was about adding a new skill. I still spoke Hindi at home, but when I stepped out for work or social gatherings, English became a tool for broader communication. Lesson 6. My first job in English. 6 months after starting my classes, I applied for a job at a multinational company in Bengaluru. The interview was in English. I was nervous, but I remembered everything I had practiced. I walked in with confidence, greeted the interviewers, and began answering their questions. Although I wasn't perfect, they understood me, and that's what mattered. I got the job. That was the moment I realized how far I had come. Learning English had changed my life, giving me access to new opportunities and the confidence to pursue my dreams,